Nilus the Sandman, The Boy Who Dreamed Christmas is a pretty interesting film with a message that I really approve of. This was released in 1991. It's directed by Chris Delaney, written by Michael Fawkes and Michael Mercer, and it stars Long John Baldry as Nilus. We also have Zachary Bennett as Peter, Frank Mackay as Santa. Really brilliant voice cast across the board. And I will say, first of all, I had never heard of Nilus the Sandman. I did a little bit of Googling afterwards, and it turns out there were a couple of other films and a TV series. I've never seen them, hadn't heard of them. If you think they're worth checking out, let me know. I'm not immediately enthusiastic to watch the others. Not because there's anything wrong with this, I just didn't, completely adore it. But certainly the character is very interesting. It actually starts off as a live action, and this boy goes to sleep, and the Sandman, Nilus, comes along, and I have to say, I don't know what I expected Nilus to look like, but this wasn't it. There's nothing wrong with the design of him. I was just surprised by the way he looked, but he looks great. And off they go to Santa's workshop, and it's been controlled by the Toymaster. And the Toymaster is working the elves to the bone. And this is partly because children are asking for longer and longer lists of toys. And there's a song in this. I didn't catch the name of the song, but the song is basically saying that children nowadays, in 1991, are asking for so many things compared to what children of the previous decades would ever have even dreamed of asking. And I can understand where that comes from. I was born the year after this in 1992, and certainly when I grew up, it was not strange to write a long Christmas list, not necessarily with the expectation that one would receive everything on the list, but there is this sense of this increasing demand from children to ask for many, many things. And this is exactly what this touches upon, the fact that children ask for so many things, and let's face it, a lot of children receive many things. And Christmas morning just becomes a case of, right, I'll unwrap this, see what it is, put it aside, and move on to the next thing. And that's obviously not a great way to do things. And I feel like it's a lot of children's Christmas mornings. And this helps to show that actually children don't need that many toys or gifts or whatever they're receiving, because they're only going to remember a special few. I'd like to think that I can remember most of my Christmas gifts from my childhoods, but I think that's largely because I have photographs of Christmas morning and I can see the various gifts around me. But when I actually think back, yeah, it is probably true that if you didn't show me that photograph of what I received, I could probably only recall a couple of things per Christmas or indeed per birthday. And the elves are obviously worked to the bone. And Santa Claus is not very happy about things, so Sandman and Peter, they all work together to try and resolve these problems and make things a much happier place. But can they do that in time for Christmas? And will children stop demanding so many toys? Well, I won't say exactly what happens, but it's a sweet story. And as I said, I am completely behind this narrative. I think I grew up receiving a lot of Christmas presents. I appreciate them all. But I still think that children receive too many gifts for Christmas. I think less is more. I am generalising. There will be cases where some children receive less, even though their families could afford more. They appreciate that less is more. But in general, Christmas is far too consumerist, and this film does a really good job of showing that, even in 1991. So clearly, we didn't learn much as a society from this film, but it's a good film. The animation quality is not too bad. I quite like the animation style. The characters are all very likable. Sure, I didn't love it enough that I want to go and watch some more Nilus the Sandman. At least, not immediately. Maybe one day. We'll see. But for now, I'm happy to have seen Nilus the Sandman, The Boy Who Dreamed Christmas. And I'm certainly happy to recommend it.